I understand we have Efe Duku back now. I want to bring him into the conversation because we're just speaking on where you left off, which is the Southeast. And I want to ask you the same question I asked Dr. Oshodi, which is the fact that, look, some people are saying people are just going to vote largely and generally for Peter Obi during the presidential election in the Southeast because he's from that region. And that maybe during the other elections, the National Assembly, gubernatorial election, and State House of Assembly, they might end up voting for the party that controls their state. How do you react to that?
Look, you see, elections are about realities. If you run away from the realities, then you are likely to walk into a cul-de-sac on election day. The Peter Obi factor is a real factor. Those who support former Governor Peter Obi are passionate. That they will vote for him is a statement of fact. You see it every day on the streets of the country, especially in the Southeast. So if you are analyzing elections and you discountenance the impact Peter Obi will make in the East, then you are not a serious analyst. But the question that can easily be answered is, where is Peter Obi from politically? He came from the PDP. Whose vote is Peter Obi going to impact? It is largely the votes of the PDP. So APC is not under any major threat by the fact of Peter Obi being in the election in the Southeast. The Southeast will vote for Peter Obi, but that Southeast that will vote for Peter Obi is the traditional Southeast that was voting for the PDP. So as it is, the chances of the PDP in the Southeast is in inescapable danger. They cannot escape Peter Obi. He's going to excoriate, he's going to take away all their votes. When I say all their votes, it may be hyperbole, but that is to say that Peter Obi is a strong factor and it is against PDP in the Southeast. So go to Imo State, go to Ebonyi State, whether that will happen, we do not believe so. The data that we look at do not show that he's going to have that impact in those states. The dynamics are not the same. That is to say, there has been a major change that, though gradual, from the PDP to APC over time in those states. And that is not going to be reversed overnight or on election day. So yes, Peter Obi will get votes, but it is the PDP's headache, not APC in the Southeast.
You don't think that he's going to take a bulk of your vote just because there is a clamor for Igbo presidency, especially when you look at from the PDP primaries all the way, there has been that clamor. At some point, there was a clamor for it to be micro-zoned, for presidency to be micro-zoned to that region. You don't think that because of that particular clamor, that a lot of people in that region and just residents of that region will say, because they feel it is their turn, that they are going to vote for someone from that region. It's perhaps one of the reasons, a lot of analysts will say, perhaps one of the reasons why the PDP is where it is today, because it did not listen to that clamor from the Southeast to micro-zone the presidency to that region. And that perhaps because of that, they are going to vote largely from someone from that region.
Okay, I'm not going to discountenance the impact of primordial sentiments in our elections. They are still there. That the Southeast is entitled or clamors for the presidency is a legitimate clamor, and there are so many reasons driving it. However, Peter Obi has presented himself not as an ethnic candidate, but a person who has something to offer the country, So Peter Obi is not even presenting himself as an ethnic candidate. And if the man who is contesting has not, in fact, he publicly said that if the reason you are voting for me is because I'm from Southeast, do not vote for me. And I think that message sinks. But again, as I said, that is not to say those sentiments that drive some voters, that we will not remove them completely from the table in analysis. But I do not think that people who are voting for Peter Obi are doing so only because he's from the Southeast. They believe he's competent, they believe he's honest, and the rest. So that is what those are some of the things his supporters hold on to. And we have to respect that. We don't say that they don't know what they are saying. They have points, they are making good points. But our position is that we have a candidate in Asiwaju whose credentials match side by side with any of the candidates, stand so tall that you can't even begin to compare. That is a statement of reality from our perspective. It is left for the people of this country, as we talk to them, to dispassionately look at these credentials and see whether they are able to come to the same conclusions as we have done. That the person who stands most eminently qualified in terms of experience, in terms of contributing to democracy, in terms of nurturing and sustaining this democracy, ensuring that the military went back to their barracks to play their constitutional role, is Asiwaju, and nobody can impeach that reality. So whether they will vote for him, yes, Peter Obi will get votes. You see, to ignore that, to say that he will not get votes, even in Southeast, is to disrespect those who support him. The APC is not disrespecting anybody in this country. But what we are doing is to appeal to people to look at the issues beyond primordial sentiments and say, hopefully come to the same conclusion that we have come to, that Asiwaju is grounded, well qualified, prepared himself over time, and is now ready to take on the task of giving this country the leadership it deserves, from where President Muhammadu Buhari will stop and take us to the next level that we deserve.